less than 24 hours ago, several NFL running backs, the biggest names in the NFL, biggest names at the position, they were in a Zoom meeting to complain and say that the market is unfair. They were in a Zoom meeting to collectively to complain, I guess, to the Players Association to say, you got to talk to general managers. This is not right. They're out to get us. They're out to hold us down, man. We got to do something. So you are fresh from a Zoom call about the state of pay, not play, state of pay for running backs. Remember what several of them have said and done. They're willing to sit out in a show of solidarity. We're stars. They need us. We'll show them, right? Well, here we are today. And the guy that told the New York Giants, F you, he told him, F you. I believe his exact comment was on Sunday, let's see how you do without me. Then they had the Zoom call and said, we're together, man. We're going to stick together. We got to stop this. The guy that called his pay and running back pay in the NFL criminal. That was my favorite point of the weekend. Criminal. This guy just punched the New York Giants in the forehead, didn't he? He showed them. Now they don't know who they're messing with. He showed the entire NFL and everyone who's mistreated running backs and treated them like trash and paid them minimum wage. He showed them who's boss. He's proving the league and every single general manager wrong. He showed them. Take that. The guy that said running backs deserve bigger and longer contracts, you know, that guy along with the other guys on Zoom over the weekend who said in a show of solidarity, well, except for a couple of them who have long-term contracts and they just stayed quiet, but the rest of them were flipping off the NFL saying, yeah, good luck to you without us. The NFL better not mess with Saquon Barkley of the Giants, because the man that said running backs deserve longer-term contracts, and his employer's never going to make it without him. He just signed a one-year contract. Yeah. He showed them. That'll get him. I mean, nothing. He was pissed on Sunday. They all were pissed. I mean, nothing will get their attention more about long-term contracts. I mean, nothing makes your point more about long-term contracts than a one-year contract. Huh. That running back crusade has really paid off. All right, ESPN had a discussion about this morning. I believe they start one day of training camp, and the guy that said F you signed a one-year deal.
We were all under the impression, wait, he can't sign a new deal if he was franchise tagged and it passed the deadline. You can do a one-year deal. Just how rare a scenario, Mike T, is this?
Agree. This is virtually unprecedented. This hasn't happened since 2005, Edgerrin James and the Indianapolis Colts. So basically, on a one-year deal, Saquon Barkley has the ability to earn roughly another $1 million, and in exchange, he's there on time. And to me, it's shocking. It goes to his character. You know, Greeny, yesterday we talked about you can't even trade a player and do an extension, and that's 100% right. We had the rules correct. What he's doing is really something that, again, it hasn't happened in 18 years, which is to say, I'll take $1 million, which basically isn't even guaranteed, and I'll massive win for the Giants. And more importantly to me, Greeny, they could franchise him again. So they have enormous leverage when they talk about extension at the end of the year. So I think what Saquon is saying is, I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I'm going to give up the ability to be a free agent possibly again next year just to be there on time. So this is a big, big win for the Giants.
RC, jump in.
Well, this is exactly what I've been talking about the last 2 days on the show, Greeny. Teams are betting against players sitting out. Teams are using players' loyalty to their teammates, to the organization, against themselves. Saquon Barkley said it when we were talking about the Money Matters podcast, where he said, these are cards I could play, but anybody who knows me knows that that's not something I want to do. I don't want to sit out. I don't want to handicap the organization. I don't want to stand across or in opposition of my teammates being able to succeed to the highest level. And I think the New York Giants knew that about him. Listen to what Jordan Renan said when he said Saquon Barkley wants to win championships. His character has always mattered to him, and he wants to be the best player that ever lived.
All right.
We had a slight interaction yesterday.
Listen, this is such a huge win for the Giants. I mean, it is. Well, why would you say it? First of all, it's a smart conversation on ESPN. Don't say F you. Don't have Zoom meetings. Don't say it's criminal what you're doing to me. And turn around and absolutely let them have everything. Mike Tannenbaum, who was a general manager, said it exactly right. The Giants are going to go, you know what, buddy, let's hug this out, okay? So glad to have you here. Great to have you here. He plays his ass off this season. They're going to turn around and slap the franchise tag on him, which means he can't go anywhere. I mean, so, look, if you want to just go and play that badly, that's cool. Don't say F you to them then. And don't scream and yell from the highest hill that no, they're never going to make it without you. And then turn around and do a 1-year deal, which is really 2 years, and you got nothing. You're not a free agent at all. You're theirs. How's this going to play out? It is such a win for the Giants. Look, can be a great player. He can. They don't have a whole lot else. They really don't. They have no receivers. They got a good defense. They have a Daniel Jones, which is not much. And they got Saquon Barkley. So they had to have him. He had leverage and just chose to say, screw it. I didn't mean all that stuff anyway. So if his calculus is this, I'm going to have a great year this year, and then it's really going to drive up my value. You understand this, and I think I've explained this now several times. There is almost in most positions in football, you really live on 3 and 4 year increments, and I don't mean live in a literal sense, but the turnovers every 3 to 4 years at least. You can't count on someone staying at a high level for 4 years, and at running back, that's especially true. So at the end of this season, because he's now going to show up, he now is all they have. He is now on a 1-year contract, so he is going to play his ass off. He's going to get the ball a lot. And when he gets the ball a lot, you know what's going to happen 2 years from now? He's not going to be worth that much. That's what. He can set the league on fire. He can carry this team this season. But if I'm a team that's looking to sign him in 2 years, I'm not paying him crazy money. You know why? He's almost damaged goods. That's why. Because the data says it. Buddy, this didn't work at all for you. It didn't work at all for you. And guess what happened? For all those guys on that Zoom call that were saying, this is criminal, man, I can't believe the way they're treating us, blah, blah, blah. For all of them, guess what happened? They got screwed worse now. Not screwed. They were knocked down again. Him taking a 1-year deal hurts them even more. They have no leverage. I don't know why one of them didn't text him and say, we were on that Zoom call together and we were all talking about how we need to hold out for long-term contracts, and you jackass turned around and signed a 1-year deal, which is precisely what we didn't need to do. Thanks a lot. I don't know why from the very beginning you didn't say, you know what, I'm a team guy. I'm going to work. I'm not going to talk trash. I'm just going to go to work. Instead, he talked trash, and then he said, I'm going to go to work. And good for you. I mean, have a great season. Carry the ball a bunch, because you're not going to get paid again. You're not getting paid now. You just proved the point. The Giants proved the point. He proved the point. And his buddies who also play running back have gained zero. In fact, they've lost leverage. So, yeah, I mean, the season's over, and he's going to walk into the general manager's office or start this thing again and say, look what kind of year I had. Pay me. And they're going to go, yeah. No, actually. You know what we'll do? There's this thing called a franchise tag. You know what happens then? You're not going anywhere. Or what if he plays his ass off? Or what if he gets hurt? What does he have? That would be not much. His value will drop like a rock, man. It is a career of 4 years. And then you're going to be Ezekiel Elliott and make a really good living being a backup or third string running back. That's your life. That's it. That is the definition of the position, no matter how good you are. No one is doing what Jerry Jones did with Ezekiel Elliott again. Saquon Barkley just proved it. What's pathetic is he's talking trash all the way up until the moment he said, forget it, I just want to show up and work. I will say this for you fantasy football players, that he's a great choice because the Giants have two things, and now they're going to run the hell out of him because they don't really care if they use him up. They don't care. He's not coming off the field. You know why? Because there's no future. They're not betting on the future. They're not invested in his future. So they'll run that dude until he can't walk. Fantasy players. There you go. Take him. He's all the Giants have. They have no receivers, and the team doesn't care what happens to his body. He will get it by current football standards. His carries are going to be ridiculous. At some point, you could see maybe the running backs coach talking to the offensive coordinator saying, oh, man, another carry? Isn't that too much? And then the general manager could maybe pipe in and say, it's not too much. Who cares? We don't have to pay him after this year. Use him up. That screaming sound would be the agent of Saquon Barkley.